Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're hitting you with a rapid-fire Pulse edition, breaking down the absolute defining web security disclosure of 2026. We're looking at a masterclass in layout manipulation where we'll see exactly how the basic design language of the internet got completely weaponized. Get ready for a fast-paced, high-energy teardown of the data that just upended everything we thought we knew about email security.
0. None. That is exactly the number of JavaScript lines, or executable attachments, you need to completely shatter major webmail defenses like Gmail and Outlook. For years, we thought malicious code always looked a certain way, right? Well, as we're about to see, 0 scripts definitely does not mean 0 danger.
Section 1. The Black Hat Bombshell. Let's just dive right into this explosive research dropped by Portswigger's senior security researcher Gareth Hayes out in Vegas.
Look, for decades, cybersecurity lived by this really comfortable golden rule. Strip out the JavaScript, block the executable attachments, and hey, your HTML email is safe to open. It made sense. But Hayes just proved that standard cascading style sheets, or CSS, literally the exact same code we use to make websites look pretty with fonts and colors, can be weaponized all on its own to hijack webmail interfaces. It all comes down to this core architectural flaw called the sanitizer gap. See, major webmail providers use these sophisticated sanitizers to scrub out dangerous elements before you even see a message. But modern browser layout engines, they've gotten incredibly advanced. So you get this widening gap between what the email sanitizer blindly rubber stamps as safe styling and how the browser actually computes those complex CSS specs. This gap basically acts as the ultimate Trojan horse.
Section 2. Escaping the sanitizer sandbox. So how exactly does a simple font color or a background image turn into a full-blown cyber attack?
Well, think about traditional JavaScript attacks. They need script tags, which means standard antivirus filters catch them easily. Super high detection rate. But these script-free CSS exploits, they rely purely on permitted HTML elements and style attributes. Because they're using the exact same code as your favorite commercial newsletter, they have an incredibly low detection rate. They are practically invisible to antivirus engines.
Once these styles break out of the email body, things get wild. Attackers can use standard CSS features to reposition HTML elements, perfectly overlaying them on top of trusted system buttons right on your screen. They can spoof an internal sign-in box that looks absolutely identical to your webmail provider, completely bypassing phishing warnings. And they can even manipulate the underlying document object model, the basic building blocks of the web page, to totally trick AI assistants.
Which brings us to Section 3, real-time password theft. This is easily the most alarming vector we're looking at today.
The attack sequence here is terrifyingly efficient. Hayes actually demonstrated this on Microsoft Outlook. Step 1, they construct a fake authentication prompt using nothing but CSS. It looks completely native. Step 2, you type in your password. And Step 3, background image requests dynamically trigger for every single character you type. It literally beams your password back to an attacker's server, keystroke by keystroke in real time, without a single script.
And the escalation continues with a technique called label jacking. Picture this. Attackers drop completely invisible CSS labels right on top of legitimate, boring-looking buttons inside an email. You think you're clicking a safe link, but that click gets intercepted. It gets stealthily rerouted to authorize actions in the background. We're talking quietly stealing third-party OAuth tokens for connected apps like Slack or Medium, or even confirming an account deletion right under your nose.
Gareth Hayes summed up this massive paradigm shift perfectly here, saying we can no longer rely solely on simple HTML sanitation. When allowed, CSS styles possess the ability to manipulate interface layouts and log user inputs, the entire webmail boundary is compromised. Basically, modern CSS features are now so computationally powerful, they're doing the job of executable scripts.
Section 4. Poisoning AI email assistants. Because if real-time password logging wasn't bad enough, let's look at how this hits the AI tools designed to make our lives easier, like Gmail's Gemini and Outlook's Copilot.
So, attackers can sneak hidden CSS instructions right into the email body, using 0 font sizes or positioning them way off screen. Human eyes literally cannot see this text. But when your AI assistant scans the email to write a summary or a smart reply, it reads everything. The AI processes these hidden, unsanitized CSS instructions as direct system commands. It's what we call an indirect prompt injection.
And the risks here are absolutely massive. Because the AI acts on these unseen commands, it can be forced to distort executive summaries of critical business emails. It can be manipulated into triggering automated financial transactions. It's totally hidden from us, but clear as day to the AI. And it can even create self-propagating attacks that just spread like wildfire across an entire corporate network.
Section 5. The webmail industry fallout. Let's look at the actual scale of this vulnerability across the global market.
This is a stark reality check. Out of 6 major Tier 1 webmail platforms evaluated at Black Hat, we're talking Gmail, Outlook, Fastmail, ProtonMail, Yahoo Mail, and AOL Mail, literally every single one of them initially exhibited these severe CSS vulnerabilities. That is a 100% failure rate across the board when relying on traditional HTML sanitizers to stop complex layout manipulation.
Now, looking at the remediation matrix, we're seeing a pretty divided response based on how agile these companies are. Fastmail moved fast and fully remediated 2 critical flaws by completely refactoring their HTML engine. ProtonMail fixed their image proxy bypass with stricter filtering, but the big enterprise giants, they are wrestling with massive legacy architecture. Google's Gmail is currently in active patch development, and Microsoft Outlook is under review, having deployed some partial mitigations against those real-time logging exploits.
Section 6. Locking down the web. With implicit trust in standard CSS officially gone, how does the industry actually fix this?
We're at a critical turning point for front-end engineering here. Traditional style sanitation is just inherently brittle. It's cheap to set up, but weak against these new parser tricks and needs constant updates. The only real durable fix is sandboxed iframe isolation. You're basically locking the email inside a secure digital vault. It takes some real front-end refactoring costs, sure, but it gives you absolute protection by completely blocking CSS styles from accessing the rest of the page.
To actually harden this infrastructure against script-free threats, enterprises have to enforce a zero-trust architecture. Step 1, strictly isolate those untrusted emails in sandboxed iframes. Step 2, aggressively strip raw HTML and CSS before passing anything to AI models. Step 3, block unverified external image loading unless the user explicitly approves it. And Step 4, you have to mandate hardware multi-factor authentication, like physical FIDO2 keys, to neutralize those real-time logging attacks.
This Black Hat discovery is just a masterpiece teardown of modern web security. Gareth Hayes proved that standard style sheets are now just as dangerous as executable scripts, which leaves us with one massive, lingering question to consider. As the boundary between safe, aesthetic design and malicious code completely vanishes, is the era of implicit trust in standard web design officially over? Let that sink in. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer, and as always, keep questioning the code behind the curtain.